Hello everybody, Ed0626 here, and I know what you guys are thinking. God damn it, I'm playing World of Tanks again. Well, you're right and you're wrong at the same time. I'm playing a tank game, but it's not World of Tanks. This is called War Thunder, and I'll tell you guys how I heard about it, and then I'll get into my thoughts of the game. But first, I just want to say, in this particular clip, I had a really great moment that I'm going to point out when it comes up, so I just want to let you guys know. So, how I heard about War Thunder was I was studying for a test coming up in class. This was like close to finals. It wasn't finals, I think, but it was like, you know, a test I had before finals. So I'm sitting here, I'm playing, I'm studying, I'm like, fucking, my brain's getting fried. I gotta take a break. So I started watching some YouTube. I watched a Level Cap video, and he's talking about like an M1 Abrams tank being in some game. And I did a little more research on the game, which of course, as we now know, is War Thunder. And I'm like, oh, this game seems pretty cool. It's free to play. I'll play it. It's similar to World of Tanks, so why not try it out? So I'm watching it, and I'm watching. Actually, who was I watching? I was watching this one guy who's very big in the community. I forgot his name. I didn't check it before I made this commentary, so please forgive me. But he's a pretty big guy. I think if I ever do another video of this, which I probably will, I'll probably point him out, and maybe that will make more sense. But I basically was watching this guy's videos where he's basically focusing on all the tanks and all the, you know, artillery and all that shit in the game, you know. So I download the game, I play it for a little while, and I'm like, you know what? It's a good game. I'll make a video about it and see where it goes. So basically, here are what my thoughts of War Thunder. First of all, I appreciate the fact that in War Thunder that it's more dynamic than games like World of Tanks. Because unlike World of Tanks, War Thunder actually focuses on land, sea, and air. Of course, hold on, this is where, before I continue that, I just want to say, this is where that really cool moment pops up. This one tank, I don't know if it was artillery or what, I don't know if he didn't see me or what, but all I do is I rush him, he's rushing to me, I just point my gun in his direction, and I completely wipe him off the face of the earth. And then I got destroyed right after the fact, which was actually even funnier. But I didn't even know there was anybody behind me. So back to the whole land, sea, and air shit. War Thunder focuses on like planes, ships, like battleships and cruisers and destroyers and shit, and of course tanks and other artillery and I guess anti-vehicle weapons. I don't know for sure like some of those examples. I guess something like Battlefield 4, where it's kind of like LAVs. There is no, and I repeat, there is no infantry in this game. Basically, the tanks are your infantry. And what I like about this game is, like, I think sometimes it could be interchangeable. Like, there could be planes. I think there could be planes fighting tanks and helicopters fighting tanks in certain points. I think that's in higher tiers, though. I might be wrong. I'm not entirely sure. So please, excuse me if I'm wrong. Other things I like about this game is the fact that it's actually very realistic compared to World of Tanks. In War Thunder, as you can see, I shoot this one guy. That's actually a perfect segue. I shoot this one guy, and every time I destroy a tank, it basically pops up that where I shot the tank, like where his crew members are, where his ammo rack is. And say if I'm in a firefight with a guy where we're exchanging rounds back and forth, odds are, if I just keep shooting in one of those types of areas, I'll probably end up, you know, winning. It's actually kind of taught me a little bit more about armor as well, because from watching that one guy who's big in the community's videos, he's kind of showed me the places where to hit a tank that I never really thought of applying to in a video game. Like, of course, I knew about this type of stuff from watching shows like Greatest Tank Battles, but I never really applied it to games like War Thunder or World of Tanks up until recently, and I thought to myself, huh, that's actually pretty cool. But So I actually, what is it, like some of the things are, if you shoot a tank in the area between the main body and the turret, odds are you're going to destroy the tank almost instantly. And then of course there's the back of the tank that has the weakest armor. That's, you know, common knowledge at this point for people who pay attention to military history and tank warfare. And of course there's the underbelly of the tank, or the under, like, armor shapes that are like in the front but are still pretty weak compared to the main front armor. If you shoot there, sometimes it's usually a one-shot or two-shot kill. And I actually tried this in World of Tanks, but it ended up taking a lot more than 2 shots. It ended up taking me about 3 or 4 shots, maybe 5. And by the time I destroyed the tank I was trying to go for, about 3 of his buddies were already shooting at me, and somehow, some way, I actually ended up getting destroyed. Now, the one thing I do like about another thing I like about War Thunder is the basically how quick people can die, but at the same time that's a bad thing. Although there's a plus to that, because if you do die, and if you have multiple tanks in your arsenal that are able to be used in certain skill points, like for instance, if I'm using 3 lower tier tanks and I'm in like a lower tier, and I'm in a type of game where those lower tiers could be used. Of course, M1 Abrams is fucking like the highest of high you can get to, so I can't use an M1 Abrams in a World War II type of battle. So if I'm using a tank like the BT-7 or whatever, you know, it'll come in handy. Basically is what I'm trying to say. You know, having 3 tanks of that nature that can be used gives me more opportunity to kill other players and get my score up. So that I appreciate. That's something World of Tanks doesn't have, where if you die, you're done. You know, you don't get that opportunity to come back unless you go into a new game. So again, it's something I can appreciate. Now, the one downfall to this game that does bother me is the research system. I feel like it's a lot more complex, and it's very difficult to understand when you first start the game. In World of Tanks, it's a lot simpler, but in War Thunder, it's, like I said, a lot more complex, and that allows me to not enjoy the game. No, maybe not enjoy the game, but it made it really hard for me to understand what I was doing. Because I was playing, when I first played this game, I played it for a good 3 hours, and of that 3 hours, I'd say about an hour, 20 minutes, hour and a half was spent trying to figure out how in the fuck do I research tanks to get better tanks, you know? So, unlike World of Tanks, it's actually pretty straightforward. So that's pretty much one of the only downfalls I have. And of course, the game is a grind. Many people that know me say I don't like games that require me to do a lot of grinding. I just like straightforward stuff. Of course, World of Tanks and War Thunder are the exception. Although War Thunder, I'm already pretty high up in World of Tanks. I'm like tier 5 in most of my tanks that I've picked up over the last year or so. So having to restart all over again in this game is going to be a bit of a challenge. But that's that. Now, when will you ever see more of this from me? I think the plan to do that comes from, you know, doing live commentaries. Because when I watch some of the people, they do a lot of live commentaries. I think that'll be pretty cool, you know, record different games. You know, if I die, I'll just, you know, restart it or whatever. I think it's just a matter of me being motivated to play the game. That's basically the only downfall I can think of what I have planned. So that's that. Other than that, I think War Thunder is a very good game. It's very realistic. The tank models are fantastic. They're very detailed. The movement is actually pretty cool, because they actually, if you're going at full speed and you try and make a turn, you'll actually slide. And I really kind of like that, because sometimes if you come up behind the tank and you slide behind them, you can be like, hello bitch, bang, bye bye. But that's pretty cool. Anyway, let me know if you guys want to see more of this. I'll try and upload a few games of it. And like I said, I think it's a very good game. It has its issues, like all games do. But I think the issues I was describing, I think I've started to figure out, so I'll be able to play this game a lot more. So, hope you guys look forward to more of this from me. And let me know what you think in the comments section down below. Follow me on all the social media bullshit down you see in the description. And I'll see you guys on the next video. My name is Ed0626, and I'll catch you all on the next one. Have a great day, and peace out.